gonna be the official introduction of the latest project just picked up. And if you've been following close enough, you'd already see the hints that I'm gonna be opening a shop soon. So I'm still doing some minor things. I just want to get it to a certain point before I actually officially open it. But I have pretty big plans for the shop, so not anywhere near where I want it to be, but I'm pretty close to where I can at least say it's ready to open and, you know, most importantly, start creating content. But too, if you have content that you want to share in a shop environment that's, you know, worthy of a studio, you can bring your car down, you can do installs, etc., etc. I have the equipment, and or if you bring your own equipment, you can film it yourself, however, but all the tools will be there, you know, so you can use it. And yeah, and I'll eventually open up to start working on other people's cars and help them go fast too. So this is the latest. It's a 2020 Toyota Supra, aka BMW. So far, honestly, it's pretty sick. It's already broken in. I got it with 10,000 miles. So at least that saves me the headache of having to drive it just to break it in. So I'm going straight to the dyno. I already hit up Daniel and Sean from Church Automotive. So first thing we're gonna be doing is putting EcuTek on it. It's just on pump gas, 100% stock. Like I said, it's already broken in. After this, we're gonna go to the dyno, baseline it, see what it makes stock, and then upload the EcuTek, and then let Daniel work his magic behind the keyboard and make a tune for the pump gas, which is 91 out here in California. And if you're from California, Arizona, Nevada, you know our 91 is like the lowest quality. So if you can make it happen on this pump gas, you'll be set pretty much anywhere else. It's automatic. It's a little different. It's hard to get used to. I'm so used to just driving manual transmission cars, but honestly, it's pretty dope. Especially in LA traffic, I'm excited. Now I don't have to worry about pushing the clutch in. Sport mode is like just crazy good. The shifts are on point. As much as I'd like to hate this car, honestly, I can't. It reminds me of Sally, my old S2000, a little bit, but you know, it has all the modern tech like lane assist and the braking, and I don't know, it's honestly pretty dope. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'll be more impressed when I start putting some mods on it and seeing how fast we can take this thing. I think before we hit the dyno, I'll make some pit stops, make a couple stops in Mexico, and try to do some test launches and get a feel for it right now while it's stock. The car does have lowering springs though, so it has H&Rs and also that little diffuser for like the wind buffering, so thankfully I don't have to experience what that sounded like, but I know that was going to be like the first mods that I did on this. So on the way to church, oh look, Mexico. I didn't know I was gonna pass Mexico right now, so might as well just do a couple test launches. I've seen already on a couple videos on YouTube that there's a launch mode on this thing, so Mexico's not too far from me, so might as well see what this thing's got. If you know, you know. Hopefully I can get it on the first try. If you wanted like a whole review of the car and, you know, like the specs and all that, like just a general overview, and this isn't the channel. I'm here to make it go faster. I'm not. There's plenty of other videos. The car's already been out, and go support other YouTubers. But for this channel, if you subscribe, my mission is just to make this thing faster and test it in Mexico. All right. So from what I've seen on the videos, you just push it once, brake all the way down. It's still spun. still spun, then it bogged out a little bit. That launch mode is pretty sick. Do another one more on a street pavement, not prepped. That's where they do all the burnouts and stuff. This looks like a good spot. Hopefully there's no cops up there. If there is, well, then I guess I'm not gonna stop. There we go, no spinning right there. One thing I noticed, I'll have to review the video, but first gear short shifts, second gear it still kind of short shifts it, and then third, fourth up it actually goes to like all the way to red line. So I'll review it, but I think that's what I noticed. this thing's sick. Can't wait to turn this thing up. If you're from Cali, then you know what freeway I'm on. This is called the 91 and I'm actually in the express lane, but always traffic. So if you're local, I highly recommend getting the 91 fast track pass. And driving the Supra just makes it a lot easier. I don't have to worry about shifting gears in traffic. It still kind of sucks though, because if there's people going slow like this and there's only 2 lanes in this, then you're stuck. But well, we'll see if I can pass them up right now. After this curve, it opens up another lane and sometimes I'm able to slide through. Another thing that's sick about this car too is when you're not in sport mode, it actually seems to save gas a lot more. But what's really dope is in sport mode, it keeps the revs right where you really need it to be. And look at this, come, bro, you're in attention, come on. Oh my God, taking it off sport mode, just normal. Let's see, going 80. Give it full throttle. There's 100. Go back to 80. Put in sport mode. See how the RPM's already a little higher. Go back to 80 miles an hour, and then hopefully nobody cuts me off. 80, full throttle. 100. Pretty responsive. All right, I'm gonna save some gas for the dyno. As you can see, if you're local to SoCal, there's always traffic. Now even worse, nobody's working, so it doesn't matter what time you go on the freeway now, there's traffic. Let's see if I can do a little 40 roll. In sport mode. You hear the little burble tune. And that's stock too. I know you guys like all that burble tune stuff, but it comes stock with the car. All right, and for this 40 roll, I'm just gonna do no brake boost, literally just hold RPM and then get on it. Let me make sure there's nobody in front of me. All right, so here's 43, 40. To 90. It's not bad. So we got it on the dyno. It's just the car's 100% stock as far as performance-wise. We can do baselines, well, a couple baselines, and we'll average it out. We'll see how much power this car makes from the factory. So we got it put in here. Oh, he has a BMW too. And for those of you who don't know, he does have a BMW. He has an M3. So.
The 1 gear ratio, 1-to-1 is going to be in 6th gear, which is the final drive is at 3.15, but that's kind of low. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it in 5th gear. fifth gear will give me a, let's see, it'll give me a 4.158 drive ratio. I like that. We'll use that one for our setup. So 4.158.
Alright, so we just finished the first baseline. It was actually in fifth gear. He changed all the gear ratio on the Dyno pack. But that made 329 horsepower and 370 foot-pounds of torque.
With the hood closed.
With the hood closed.
Now
we're gonna redo another one, but real quick, Motor Trend, well, I looked online, stock, it says the Supra makes 335 horsepower and 365 foot-pounds of torque. And Motor Trend did a test at World Dyno, which is the same dyno I use on my drag Civic, the 1.5 liter. So a stock Supra there made 332 horsepower and 387 foot-pounds of torque. So it made 17 more foot-pounds of torque and probably 3 or 4 more horsepower. But they did it in sixth gear, which is a 1-to-1 ratio. So right now with the hood open, we're gonna do another fifth gear pull. We're gonna let it cool down. And in between each dyno pull, we do 2-minute cool downs. So let it cool down, it's almost done. We're gonna do another pull, fifth gear. We're gonna let it cool down again, and then we're gonna do a sixth gear pull and see how our numbers compare to Motor Trends. Alright, so that last run was 330 horsepower and 386 torque. So the good news about that is it's pretty spot on. And we're gonna do one more with sixth gear, and then that way we can compare our stock numbers to the Motor Trend stock numbers that they did at World Dyno. Four runs, 2 in fifth gear, 2 in sixth gear. The best out of both fifth gear was 329 horsepower and 386 foot-pounds of torque. Sixth gears, 329 horsepower and 393 foot-pounds of torque. So out of all the 4 runs, you can see they're pretty equal. Around, I'll say 4,700 RPM, you can see the torque starts to really fall off, similar to like the 10-gen Civic. As far as horsepower goes, kind of flat lines around 5,000, and it'll start to dip around 5,700 probably. So I don't know, short shifting might be the key to this car too, for at least the stock turbo. Other than that, all right, enough of the stock shit. We got the EcuTek, already paid for the license. We got to jailbreak the ECU. And since this is an early model Supra, we're allowed to do that. So I'm gonna take care of that.
ECU unlock tool. Okay. Query ECU. 375 flash points. Load the ROM. Let me find the ROM. It's a 6345. Radio off. All this shit's off. What else? I mean, I don't think you need to do this, but we'll turn those on, and we're gonna unlock the ECU. 5, 4, 3, 2. No turning back. Accessing ECU. Please wait. Backing up vehicle coding. File vehicle coding. Transfer data, process. 1%. 2%. So it's unlocking. Mess with the fueling. Basically forcing it to use this other table, and it's putting some base values in there to start off with. See where that lands us.
so I left the Supra with Daniel. That way he could just keep it on the dyno. It was getting late, had to go home. And I actually told him just he could just drive it around to get like, you know, the partial throttle tuning and stuff like that. So he had it for like 3 days. I think he only worked on it for like 2 days, but that's fine. I couldn't come out here until 3 days later anyways. And last night he said he made some better gains and more improvements. So I'm really excited just to see what it drives like. It's still 100% stock aside from the EcuTek, and it's still on 91 California pump gas. So it made about 70 more torque and 50 more horsepower compared to the Delta, which is from stock baseline to the new tune. It actually did similar gains on both of the dynos. They have the all-wheel drive dyno and then the other two-wheel drive dyno. So similar gains on 2 completely different dyno packs. So it's time to just go drive and have some fun. Next up, it's probably gonna be a flex wheel kit. So we'll see. Stay tuned.